Hi guys, this is Jay from Pedal Waves. It's summer, so I guess we're wearing watches on the bracelet now because it's much more cooler. So today we're showing you 4 really special Royal Oaks, cool vintage ones that are very different in their executions, designs, style, materials. Let's dive in. So the first one is near and dear to my heart. This is 25654. One of the first or the first perpetual calendar model from Audemars Piguet. This is actually my first love from Audemars Piguet. It's a perpetual calendar and it's super balanced with 4 subdials. And the material used is steel, which is important to me because steel was what Genta intended for the Royal Oak. It's hard to finish being steel for the Swiss, for Audemars Piguet to execute the watch in such high level. That is a point of luxury. This watch to me is incredible and more special than the current Royal Oak perpetual calendars just because of the thickness. This is an ultra thin perpetual calendar. Patek 5740, that arrived in the late 2010s, so that was about 30 odd years later after AP released this perpetual calendar. Released in the 1980s, it is such a bold move to make something so special, so precious, house a perpetual calendar, but put it in a steel case. The contrast of this watch is just quite cool to me. And being so thin, it wears so much nicer than the current 41mm ones. This one I think is 8.25mm thick. It has no leap year, it has no weak indicator. It's just so simple and so balanced. These are still underappreciated. We can see that during COVID, these have shot up in value so much. That's really well deserved. These watches with their small AP logo are one of the few things, vintage offerings that you can get from Audemars Piguet. The 25654 was produced from 1980 all the way to the mid-90s, but they're really rare. In steel, you'll find only 272 pieces, and that's just way less than what AP will be able to produce today. And this one was quite interesting because you will see a lot of dial designs on the 25654. My favorite would be my first. It's a great dial in steel, but this one is a unique piece with the special dial designation .06, which stands for glossy black dial. They did really pave the way for AP to be the brand it is today, because in the 1980s, AP was still a small company, and the first perpetual they made after the quartz crisis was the 5554. These are way more artisanal than you think because they look really modern with the sapphire glass. But in reality, AP really just modified the early jumbo cases from the 5502 directly into these perpetual calendar watches. Sometimes we'll even have the jumbo's number, like a B series number, behind the case back. That just goes to show that AP was a small and a kind of independent company, and which it still is today, but it's much more niche back then. They were just making watches in smaller batches, and I understand everybody wants the latest and greatest from AP, but sometimes it's cool to look back. I remember it's my first time seeing these on a collector's wrist was actually Mr. John Mayer, and he actually was looking for one of these before 2018, I think. And that was just really cool, like you're looking into somewhere that people are not looking. I think that really makes a unique collector and a collecting style in itself. If you are a AP collector or you're a fan of 80s and 90s watchmaking when the brand was still small, look no further than this really cool early perpetual.